Well, for joining the session. So the session is in recording, and today topic is related to the starting point of SDLC model. The starting point of SDLC model. So the starting point of SDLC model means almost we are going to talk about 50 years back. Exactly 50 years back. So whatever the process, whatever the culture, okay, whatever the ideology they are used 50 years back, the particular process we are going to discuss today. Okay. So when the software development life cycle, they have given a definition and what are the phases is required. Okay. The particular phases, they have different models came in the market over the period of 50 years. Over the period of 50 years. Okay. So right now we are in DevOps model. Right now we are in the DevOps model along with the Agile. Along with the Agile. So you please understand these two terms. Currently we are learning DevOps with Agile software development lifecycle processes. Well and good. But if you're going for an interview, okay, they are asking some kind of crash questions. Last few weeks, we are attending some interviews with our students. Uh, they are asking like your previous batches and all. So, sir, I got a question from so and so company. Okay, some very important question like what is the difference between Agile with the DevOps? What is the difference between Agile with the I32 model? What's the difference between uh, DevOps with the I32 model? So Waterfall with the I32. Okay. So different kind of questions they're asking. First of all, when we want to answer this question, okay, definitely we have to clear cut understand the complete workflow, then only you can give an option. Otherwise, the software development lifecycle, all models, all phases are same, no changes at all. All phases are same. Based on the model, based on the model, this order will be exchanging. This order will be exchanging. If you're understanding the order, you can easily tell that answer. Otherwise, you'll get confused. You're giving mostly 50 to 60% wrong answer in the interview. Okay. If you're giving a wrong answer, obviously you will get some kind of negative feedback. Okay. They don't get a good opinion about you. Okay. Most of the people are attending the interview, they'll be telling that they'll be laughing at interview and they'll be telling that that's a old model, I'm not recollecting, and these are. So maybe for you, for yourself, you're telling that answer is okay. So in interview, no courtesy. Okay. Babai, Pinni, uncle, auntie, brother, sister. Okay. Everything in your house only. Okay. But comes to the office in an environment, in interview model, so they will not show you any courtesy. Okay. Most of the people are telling the courtesy point of, they'll tell the problems in the interview. I have faced last a few weeks. I have taken interview for my projects. They're telling lot of reasons. The lot of reasons. Okay. First of all, don't tell any reasons when you're attending the interview until you select. Okay. If you really don't know the answer, you can tell them, I'm sorry, I could not able to recollect this information. Sorry for the inconvenience. You can please go to the next question. Okay. So they will not give any negative opinion about you because of your strongly accepting your no idea about the concept and you're not wasting off your time and his time. Okay. So definitely they will give you value of your presence in the interview. That's a very important for you. So I'm going to explain the concepts. Okay. Today and tomorrow, it's completely the real time, the work models. Okay. For all the models I'm going to complete. I don't want to repeat in the future classes. Okay. I'm going to explain all the self-development lifecycle models today and tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday, and these classes cannot be repeated in future classes. Okay, because of we already settled down in the class and we need to discuss this particular point and we need to move towards. Okay, so why? Because we never implemented waterfall model. We never in future, okay, we'll not discussed about the linear model. We'll not discussed about the spear model. We'll not discussed about the iterative model. Nothing. Going forward, we will always work on agile. Okay, you know already agile. We already discussed agile. Okay, please forget about it. Again, we will start work on it. Okay, but again means we are not repeating the concept. Whatever the topics are repeated, or already completed, we are not repeating. So these concepts are introduction for the every student who are learning the DevOps. But most of the classes we are not teaching that waterfall model because of we are almost completed 50 years of software development lifecycle era. So why these people are asking these questions, silly questions, but still they're asking. Okay, why should you leave that particular classes? Okay, we'll complete within 2 days of time. We are spending of valuable 1.5 hours to 2 hours. But I can understand to understand this process very difficult. So for that reason, I'm going to prepare one small PPT. Okay, I'll share with you by tomorrow after end of the class. You can take with you, you can prepare yourself when you're going for an interview. Okay. And before you start learning the course, you please understand the phases very clearly. After that, then don't prepare in between of the classes. Once you complete the course, then you can prepare before going to interview. Until unless don't touch this. Okay. Mostly whenever required, I'll just iterate to this particular concepts. Maybe if you forgot, I'll just iterate to. I'll show the pic and I'll iterate to. This other information is there. This is a drawback. That's why we're going to the DevOps. This is a waterfall model. This is a iterative model. I will explain it. Okay, but not again spending 1 hour time. It's very difficult for me. Okay, so clear. The waterfall model was launched and implemented in 1970s, almost 50 years over. Okay, almost 50 to 53 years over. Okay, 1970s. But till date, okay, waterfall model, one of the best software development model in the market. Yeah, but it is not acceptable by everybody in the team. Okay, everybody in the companies. Okay, but few companies are accepted one of the best software development lifecycle. Well and good. So why software development model was implemented with waterfall? Okay, that's a very, very important one. So waterfall how look like? The peak mountain and the water will be flowing and downward direction. Okay, from top to bottom. So here, even the project also, if we gathering all the requirements from the project, if we keep it here and we'll do analysis, once we start designing the work, it'll go like this: implementation, testing, deployment, maintenance. That's it. Your project will get succeeded. Are you getting a chances for succeeding this project here in the waterfall model? No. Why? So when we are working on this, okay, in the waterfall model, they have given some structure about the waterfall. So what is the waterfall structure was taken? So in the first phase, requirement analysis. So once you did requirement analysis, in entire life cycle, you should not do again. Only one time. Only one time you can do this. So in this one time, what are the information you are gathering from the client, you can gather it. After that, once you move to the next phase, you don't get any opportunity to listen the requirement. You don't have time to analysis because this process will not allow you to take the requirements and you can re-analysis the existing requirement phase. That's a condition. That's a condition only. Suppose if you're going back, the complete project will get closed with a failure project, failure plan. Again, you have to start from the scratch. Again, you have to start from the scratch. So no more doubt at all. Suppose once this is completed, you'll go to the next phase, you'll not come back, no return. So if item is, leave it on the top notch of the waterfall, the object will not come back. Just once you leave it, that it is leave it. The water will be flow down from the downward direction. Same way, if these phases are not a parallel, it is not a line, and this is a step-by-step process. If this is completed, it will go to the second step. If second step is completed, third step will get completed. It will stop. So in the waterfall model, every step input is previous step. So that means requirement analysis, it is an input of system design. So system design is input of implementation. Like that it will go. So suppose implementation itself, it is a failed, remaining every step will get stopped. No more progress. Suppose this is completed, then we'll go for next testing, then go for deployment, then go for maintenance. So the waterfall model also called as linear fashion model. Linear fashion model. Okay? Linear fashion model. So waterfall model, linear fashion model, both are same if you are using this model in your company. So in the first phase, the requirement analysis, they'll maintain the process of documentation, the documentation process we call as SRS. Okay, so the complete project, how you will be doing. So what are the requirements is needed. So all the requirements, they'll be gathered in the document. The document, a large document we call as SRS. SRS full form, software requirement specification. Software requirement specification document will be prepared here. So once you created that, that's a final. In between that, your customer is again, hey, Rajesh, I need more feature. So can you please implement? Sorry, boss. So we already started. So whatever your inputs you have taken, I have given already deadline. So I can complete in within the time. If you're giving this, I'll stop here. I can redo the work. So I'll give you the next deadline. So I may not be possible to complete the project within the specific deadline previously gave you, because based on your requirement, again I have to collect the information, I'll do analysis, I'll do system design. So based on the system design, implementation will change. Based on the implementation, the testing will be changed. Once the testing is successfully completed, the deployment will need to go, maintenance we need to start. So this every phase will get changed. I'm not ready to take the risk. So are you take the risk? Okay, fine. Then we'll cancel the project and we can redo it. We'll rework it on it. But based on if they keep on doing that, okay, keep on doing that. Number of hours is getting spent in this company, right? Okay, that's a service-based company by the product owner. They will charge it. Okay, the company need to pay this salary to every employee right here. So definitely, so we don't have any other option. So the client will pay the amount here. So there's a lot of budget loss when we are working on it. So client should have some clear visibility. What is a project they need to complete it. If there is no clarifying the project, so we should not start work here. Any other question? The second phase is a system design. In the system design, again, here we'll create one document. Do you know what is meaning of this document name? Here this document name called SRS, okay, software requirement specification. And here one more document they will create, the document name called SDD, okay, SDD. Any name, any abbreviation? What is meaning of SDD? Software design document. So what is meaning of software design document? Okay. So the transforming of the requirements which is gathered in the first phase, that we will be put into SDD document as per the plan. So what is the things we need to implement? What are the technologies are required? So what is the front end, back end, everything, the structure will get created. The overall software architecture will get created in this phase. So if requirement is changing, the SDD inputs will be changing, right? Then we'll cancel, again restart work here. So deleting, creating a new SDD document. So based on the software development, okay, SDD document, software design document, the implementation, everything will get started. This is a very, very important phase. So if you want to do that, the SRS should be very clear. And coming to the implementation, third one, we will be completely depending on this SDDD. So to develop this, based on the SDD architecture, if it's a worst plan, the project will get failure. There's a lot of chance, there's a lot of problems you will be raising. And if SDD is a wonderful plan, so mostly the implementation will go in a smoother way. So we'll not get kind of any kind of implementation issues, bugs, errors. We are not receiving it. And finally, the testing. So the work, whatever they implemented it, the testing will get completed based on the testing tools. Okay. These are very, very crucial part here. So if the testing is not successfully done, the product will get not giving the good output. So the testing should be a very, very crucial part. The software company is completely depending on the software testing only. If the software testing is perfectly is doing that, so you'll get a positive survey from the customer. If the testing is worst, so you'll not get a more projects in future. So that's why the next project is upcoming. Maybe we will continue for a longer period of time. The testing team, okay, should be very strong. That's why nowadays the testing will be divided into manual testing, automation testing, like that. It depends on the company, which testing they'll be using. That depends on the story. Once the testing is successfully done, okay, we'll go for maintenance. Okay, in the maintenance, basically, during the testing, the application will be deploying on the production servers, okay, or maybe testing servers. Then we'll do maintenance. We have some monitoring tools, and regularly we are enabling the monitoring, email alerts, and the dashboard creations and all. We are getting it. Okay, well and good. So what type of projects is suitable for to develop a software project with a waterfall model? If the project is very small, we can use the waterfall model. If the project is big, no, waterfall model is not suggested. So in 1970s only, during the time, slowly was establishing the computer era, right? So mostly small projects are there. So that time waterfall model is a very, very suitable model during that time. But nowadays we are handling very big projects. So big projects, larger projects are not suitable for waterfall model. If the project is short, yes, we can do that. The second requirement is, in case if your client is worst client, okay, he don't have a proper vision. Every time he is asking and doing the requirement. Every time he is calling, giving one more requirement. This type of work culture we should not entertain in this process. Okay, once decide, war should be one side. Like that, the concept will be going. So once the customer is decided, whatever the requirement, we will be creating and we are working on it. In between that, if he is coming and is asking, we should not work on that. So we'll cancel and we can restart the work. Okay, whatever the work we previously did, that's completely waste. Money and time, both are waste. So for a service-based company who developing the application, what they needed, whatever the time they're spending for the employees, we need to pay the salary. So based on that salary, they'll get some profit. So they will charge it. So here, especially when the requirements are constant. So whatever the requirements are constant, that's a fixed. So waterfall model is suggestible. The requirements is not constant. Even the customer don't have any proper idea. We cannot implement it. We cannot implement it. The next, whoever working in this project, who called as resources. Example, here in this batch, Amit is there, Bogesh is there. Okay, we have a different engineers are available, software developers. Unfortunately, Amit has only 50% of the idea. Bogesh has 100% idea. Okay, with these two persons, if I'm working on that, so Bogesh will feel uncomfortable when working on it because he's not a completely taking all the ownership doing it. It'll be very hectic. Amit, maybe he is a junior person. He has only 30 to 40% of the information he know about it, the technology. So when waterfall model, when working it, the resources should have a proper knowledge, well known about this technology, then only we can start working on it. Half of the knowledge, okay, very basic information, the people, if you are implemented in this project, will not get succeeded. So will not take it actually. And another thing is, definitely we will use the tools, some software technologies we are using, that should be constant. In the system design, what are the tools and services we are declared, the same tools and services we can implement it until the maintenance. Don't make any changes here. Example, we have a version control system. Okay, source code management. So what are the source code management tools available in the market? Huh? What are the source code management tools available in the market? Tell me. Git, Bitbucket, GitLab. Okay. So when we are starting off the project, we have given, suppose GitHub. After that, if you're changing Bitbucket, no, you're changing the tool, right? That's not correct. Cancel it. Again, restart the work. Again, change the system design document, and we can start work on the project. So you don't want to give any surprises during the changes. Okay. What are the tools and what are the technologies you are using? You should continue with that. Don't make any changes. If you're changing, cancel the project. Again, recreate a new project with the new requirements and the new tools and services. So if all the conditions, if you are okay, then you can go with the waterfall model. Otherwise, no. No means no. That's it. We should not continue. Good. So any questions here? No questions. Thank you. The next question is advantages in waterfall model. So this, as of now, we discussed conditions only, right? Conditions. Conditions means we are thinking like maybe it's a kind of very burden to digest, right? So, but Okay, that should be a very, very clear-cut instructions. Then only we can start working on this project. Otherwise, no. So what is advantages? Advantages is we can implement any software development for a smaller projects. Okay, that is advantages. Maybe that is a disadvantages also. Okay, that is also disadvantages. So parallelly, I'll give you pros and cons. So advantage is smaller projects we can handle with the waterfall model, and the negative point, cons is larger project, enterprise projects, so cannot be handled with this model. Okay. And advantage is this model is a simple to implement, okay, and a number of resources, okay, and with a minimal effort. So the quite opposite. In this model, the risk factor is very high. This model is only suitable for significant projects, or complex projects cannot be built. It is not suitable for more significant projects, and complex projects cannot be implemented. Nowadays the trend, more projects are coming under more significant project level and complex level projects. So nowadays projects are not 100%, maybe you can say 95% of the projects is not suitable for waterfall model. Maybe if the project is small, maybe you can implement it. Okay, I can understand. Nowadays there is no company they'll be using this type of models. Okay, in my friend circle, or maybe our students are working in different companies, right? They're not using it. Another pros is during the process, we are not accepting any requirement changes from the client. So the requirements are constant in the requirement sheet. Then we are going to the next phase. That's a pros. The con is the same point. We are not entertained. We are not taking any in between the software development life cycle. The changes are not entertained. The changes are not entertained. So pros and cons. The release date for the complete product with the final cost. Okay. So before deployment, we will be clearly give the output. Okay. So when we are taking this project, we have a clear-cut deadline. What's the final cost and what's the time to complete? So everything we will give the deadline. That's the future forecast we will be giving. Suppose the quite opposite is if the phases are very tough, okay, and application is shifting to coding phase to testing phase to deployment phase. In case of any problems are coming in this particular life cycle, there is a chances the product date will get extended. The cost of the project may be cross beyond the budget. There is a chances are there. Maybe if you don't have a proper knowledge to implement, there is a chances are there. And a simple resources is required. So limited resources we can use that one. That's a pros only. We don't have a bulk amount of resources should required to implement this project, not required that. So it's a completely pros. So this is a complete pros and cons in the waterfall model, and what are the terms and conditions in the waterfall model we already discussed. So before moving to the next SDLC model, any other questions?
Hi, sir. I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So when we talk about the implementation phase, so are we using the traditional servers to implement it, or are we using the new technology when we talk about waterfall model, like pushing through some containerization and then doing a testing from there? So
Good
are we
question.
still using the traditional?
During the time waterfall model, these are the tools and services not used. Okay. Okay.
But still, which the companies, which small companies which are right now using them, are they using some to it?
Waterfall model. You can see this. The best tools for waterfall project management, monday.com. Okay. Mostly you are seeing in YouTube, monday.com, this advertisement. So this is one of the tool. If you are using for waterfall model, if any companies, you can use this monday.com. So here is an online tool. We can create this type of stages we can create, and we can successfully complete your project. And second company is a Vrick. Vrick, actually, I'm actually is a counter partner for this Vrick company. So I'm actually senior architect for this company actually right now. I'm working in this project. Vrick is good company. So this is one of the two. Vrick. So this type of tools and services are there, and we can implement this idea. So mostly Gantt charts will be available. During the Gantt charts, we will be maintaining the phase and we can work on it. Yes, few companies are using it. And Smart Sheet. This is also one more tool, and is a popular services. We can use this model. So right now, these are the popular three tools. Out of these three tools, Vrick is a very popular, and recently monday.com is launched it. Monday.com.
Okay.
Probably, whatever you said, that maybe the tools are used in the waterfall model. Yeah, in your company, like a Zira, they're using it. I'm asking you. I don't know. Maybe in your company, in waterfall model, they're using Jira softwares and all.
We're using Jira, but we're not using a waterfall model
That's why.
nowadays.
Okay.
Using Agile.
Maybe Agile. Yeah, Agile is the best tool for Jira. Okay. So that's why they're using it.
Yeah.
If the waterfall model they're using means definitely they'll not use Jira. They'll use monday.com, Vrick, Simple Sheet. These are the tools they'll be using it. Even if your tool is using that, process will be not available in that area. Okay. If you open that Jira tool, if you are using waterfall model structure is not available there. How can you implement it? It's not possible. So these particular phases, they are mentioned in that area. So even you can see this on monday.com, Gantt chart is there, Kanban board is there. So Kanban board, we already discussed somewhere else, right? For few people, Jira, right? Huh? Trello. Trello is a tool for Kanban board. So wherever it is they need it, so the companies are implementing those ideas and they'll be adding those plugins and the features, we can utilize it. Nowadays, these tools, everything is you can access, and you can practice yourself for gaining the knowledge. I don't want you guys to practice this one. Not required. Huh? Not required. Next, any other question before moving to the next SDLC model? Vaibhav, Saujanya?
No, sir.
No, clear. So the next model is I32 model. Okay, the next model is I32 model. So why I32 model was created? That's a very, very important. Why I32 model is created? You can see here, same phases are there, same structure will be there, but small changes are implemented in this iterative model. So let's discuss this. So during the phase, if the customer is requested, they need any kind of modifications, any kind of requirements, we will welcoming the customer inputs. So that means wherever you are, no problem. But whenever he's need some kind of additional feature, they will give it to you. You please redesign the work and you can complete the particular output. So here, any phase you can, at any point of time, you can come back and you can go to the next step. The cycle will be happening between phase to phase in the SDLC model. Like example, system design to implementation, implementation to system design, implementation to testing and testing to implementation, again implementation to testing. So the cycle can repeat. The cycle can be repeat. So for you to understand in a better way, I can help you in a different example. Let's you can see here. So there is a first iteration. Iteration iteration 1. Iteration 1. In the iteration 1, we have a multiple phases, right? How many phases are there? Total 6 phases. So in the iteration 1, they will take a requirement. They'll take a requirement from the customer, right? Then they'll do analysis. Then you'll go for design. Then you'll go for design, testing, implementation, implementation, then review. So guys, every model to model, the phases names will get changed. That you need to address here. So why this phase is not going to maintenance? Any idea? Why this project is not going to, after the implementation, why it is not going to maintenance? Any
Because
reason?
again we may have another iteration.
Exactly. We have a one more iteration, it may comes. Okay? Probably iteration 2. Iteration 2. So in the iteration 2, again, based on the requirement, the input, the design will start. Okay? The testing will complete. The implementation will get complete. And review will get complete. So that means this review, the review, okay, is an input of the second iteration design. Are you clear? The review of the first iteration is input of the second iteration. So this is the order for you. Clear? Now again the design will be get testing, and testing will get implemented will get review. So again I have one more third iteration. So this design is something is different, and this design is something is different. Design will change. Okay? Design will change. So the testing will get common. The testing will get common testing. Regularly, whatever they're doing, the testing. Implementation also, their regular implementation. They're doing regular implementation. And reviewing also a common review. This should be a common review. Okay. So why the color coding I'm giving? Some kind of a small changes will be there in the design. Based on the review input, the design will get changed here. Again, third iteration will get started. The third iteration will get started. In the third iteration, again take the design. Again take the design from this second iteration review. Perfect. Then you'll go for testing and implementation. Then finally, once a review is completed, implementation is completed, you'll go for review. Actually, this is a final review. This is a something final review. So this is a hard review. We need to do that. Once the review is successfully completed, we'll do a deployment. We'll do the deployment. So once the deployment is gets succeeded, and finally we'll go for maintenance. We'll go for regular maintenance is there. We'll go for regular maintenance. So this is the order again. So number of inputs they'll be taking from the client, the number of iteration will get increased. So once the iteration will get completed, okay, so the final iteration will be giving a review, and based on the review, positive review, okay, and we'll go for deployment and maintenance. So this completely waterfall model and iteration model, something is small structure will be changing here. Any other question?
Sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So in the design, in the first iteration, first design to review, as I'm checking testing, implementation, review is same. So when the client will see that any problem in the same design, the output is not coming, then the design will be changed, or the some requirement have been changed from the client side, then the design will be changed in this process. I'm asking in the second iteration and the third iteration. The client
Suppose
requirement.
example, you are my client, okay? I'm your product owner, okay? So you don't have a proper clarity in your mind to implementing the project. You're giving some little bit idea, and I'm taking that little bit idea. I have started working on the iteration one. Okay. In between that, you are coming, Rajesh. I have yesterday night I got some other ideas. You please implement this. Okay. That ideas I'll take it, and based on the review for the first iteration, I'll be going to implement in the second iteration, and I'm changing the design.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm changing the design. If
Okay.
requirement is changing, design also will change, right?
Yeah.
Automatically.
Yeah.
So based on it, will continue like this.
So until the requirement will be changed, the iteration will be also increased.
No. Until requirement is constant, this iteration will continue. Until your requirement is constant, there is no more requirement.
Uh,
Okay, your all ideologies are implemented. So then we'll go for final review, deployment, and maintenance.
okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So iteration is depends on the customer satisfaction.
Customer satisfaction, absolutely.
Yeah. So final whatever design what the requirement will be fulfilled and not any changes further than the last iteration will be implemented in the deployment phase and in maintenance.
Yeah. Maybe I just written only 3 iterations. Maybe you can 10 iteration, 20 iteration also we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Understood.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Right. No questions, right? So when we can use iteration model? When we can use a iteration model? Even though iteration model, we are taking inputs from the customer and we are doing, the inputs, the requirements are well defined, are clearly to understand, then we can use a iterative model. So whatever is telling we not understand, we cannot use it. We cannot use this model. If the software is very big, large software, the architecture is very big, then you can use. And if there is a requirement to changes in future, you can use this model. So one is your requirements are very clearly defined and easy to understand, you can use this model. And if your application is very large, you can use this model. In future, if requirement is need to change, you can use this model. Understand?
So one question also,
Mm-hmm.
suppose the deployment after maintenance phase, it is running in the production and any changes needed in the same application by the client. So we the again that project will be taken from the initial phase of first straight iteration and then through change request through that will be implement the whole project again, or it
Good
will be
question.
the yeah.
Good question. So I'll give you a small example for your understanding. Okay. But you're asking very wonderful question. Uh, Example, WhatsApp was launched in the year of 2014 or 13 like that. Okay. So WhatsApp, whatever the implementing the base platform is keep on changing or using the base platform, adding a new feature. Adding a new feature, right?
Yes.
Payment gateway was introduced, DP profiles are introduced. I think what is WhatsApp Shorts, huh? Something. Somebody will be watching the some kind of some video, something short things, right? The feature that one, okay. Some dual side encryption and WhatsApp community. These are the features they implemented, right, in WhatsApp application. They implemented the only the feature in the next cycle or entire application again redeveloping. They're not working entire application, they're not redeveloping, right? So in this particular phase, the in the first club project development, in the deployment, maybe version maybe 1.0 is completed. Okay, 1.0 was implemented. Huh? 1.0 is implemented. So that means one project is ready, one product is ready. So the testing, everything is over. This is working fine. Maybe based on your regular usage, if you are any problem, you're finding that if any new feature implemented, again one more project will start like this. Again take the requirement, again do the changes. Multiple iteration will do, and the version 1.1 or maybe 2.0 depends on the company versioning model, they will release it.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Yeah, fine, good. And disadvantages and advantages, right? Next, that's a very, very important. So in this particular phases, okay, in this particular iterative model, based on the requirement, based on the features, we can create a different build, different projects. So build one we can do, build we can two, build three we can do. So simultaneously we can run the works. So that means parallel deployment can be possible in the iterative model. So testing and the debugging, okay, during the small deployment iteration. So example, this is a small feature we are implementing and we are doing a testing and we are finding that and we are fixing here and we are going to the second phase and we are taking a new feature. Again, we are testing and we are implementing. Again, go to the third phase like that. Okay. The big project was converted into small work and we are doing the work. So it's a easy to managing the big project also in a smaller pieces level. And easy to accept every change is needed in the project. Okay. Any changes is required. The next one is the hurdles are identifying during the project iteration. The risks are the risk identification and resolving during the iteration also. So maybe example in iteration one, we are finding some problem and maybe the problem we are fixing in this particular iteration. So if the project is entirely, if you completed, finally you got the issue and again we have to work on entire all the phases, that will be very difficult. So in the small phase, if we are identifying the issues, means we are fixing and we cannot see the same issue in the future. Maybe if it is in future, if it is coming, we already worked, right? We can easily solve that repetition work. And especially in the waterfall model, we are spending a lot of time for doing the documentation. But in the iteration model, with a lesser time, lesser documentation, we can start work. That's a wonderful thing. And disadvantages is it's not suitable for smaller projects. Okay. More resources may be required sometimes if it's a big project. And design changes every time. Maybe it's impacting of your project output that you need to watch it. If requirements keep on changing, over budget constraints, the problem will come. Okay, over budget concept. So you have to be in the cautious and you have to identifying if you have any new features are coming, you have to increase your budget. You can talk to your client and you can increase your budget. So project completion, when it will complete, that's a very diplomatic answer until the customer is get satisfying with at least a few requirements. So the version will get released. So these are the disadvantages of that. Okay. So now let's go with your questions one by one. Any other question? No? Thank you all. So tomorrow and very, very important session. And two more software development lifecycle we are going to discuss. I'm explaining all the concept in one class now. Definitely you'll forget. Okay, you'll get a lot of questions in your mind. Okay, complications. So that's why I'll split into two services. Okay, and tomorrow I'll get finalizing that all the services with a comparisons, do's and don'ts, like pros and cons. That all information I'll make it in one document. I'll share with you. Thank you guys. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.